Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode
Hello.
of our interview series. Today we have a very, very interesting double-decker interview.
This was
How did this come to be? Well, how did we manage to get two people from very different companies, but somehow in a very interesting space together in one room? Tell us.
So this was insane. This is once again sheer dumb luck, which is the name of the game, I think. So essentially, we were waiting for. So let's go a little back. We had an interview with none other than Rexhepi, and apparently he had some scheduling issues. So his secretary came over and said, "Unfortunately, we have to postpone a little bit. Would you mind?" And we said, "No, it's fine, no worries." So we came back at the scheduled time. And essentially, we're waiting in the lobby for him to show up. And our good friend Rajiv, who you have all heard from by now, started talking to somebody who I didn't personally recognize right off the bat. And it was Ming from Ming Watches. And then we all started talking to Ming, and he was a very nice guy. He was super friendly, very well spoken. And we told him we were waiting for Rexhep. And I don't know how it happened. And he said basically, whoever I was supposed to have an interview with didn't show up. So we were kind of thinking, okay, why don't you join us? So Rexhep walked through the door and we said, do you mind if Ming joins us? He said, not at all. And so we ended up with a double header, essentially, with Ming and Rexhep in the same room, which at the time we didn't think through of how similar these two individuals are. And it was not until the interview itself that we actually realized, wow, these are two guys who both are from non-Swiss backgrounds. I believe Ming is from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And then, of course, Rexhep is from
Kosovo?
The Kosovo, Balkans, right? And I mean, both of them have their names on their watches. Both of them have gone through very similar struggles. Both of them make their watches in Switzerland. So it's so similar yet so different. The price points, the type of machining and the work that they put into these watches.
And Ming is rather than, it's a different way completely different way of making the watches themselves, right? But there's Rexhep on the super traditional way of watchmaking, and there's Ming with a super advanced, the lightest watch and all of his stuff, and then basically using expert from different fields to create these watches. They have the design, so they have the vision, and then they just get it done, right? With various partners. Incredible stuff.
So without further ado, let's just roll the interview.
Listen to the interview.
And good one.
We'll hear you later. Bye. Hello again. Here are the Lume plotters. We are together today, Rajiv, Martin, and Ralph, interviewing two industry legends. Both
one. I'm a dilettante.
Both very young brands.
I'm the dilettante.
Both very young brands, but extremely successful, both in their own rights. We have Ming from Ming Watches and Rexhepi. I hope I pronounced your name correct.
Very well.
Wonderful.
He said Rexhep earlier this day, and I corrected him. And I said, no, that's not.
We're right. Yeah. So wonderful. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. So, as being two maybe disruptors in the industry, you being so successful in a very young age with very traditional craftsmanship, and you, Ming, being very successful
at an older age.
At a young age, but in newer technologies, we'll say.
But coming with fresh and new ideas into an industry that you are not grown up with.
No, not at all.
Rexhep, I think you had it in your blood from the beginning. You wanted to become a watchmaker very early on.
Yes, true. I was very lucky.
And had the dream. And Ming came to that later.
I had to do all the not fun stuff to get here.
Ironically, because we have Ming here by a complete accident, both of you are from a background that is not traditional watchmaking, right? Growing up in Kosovo?
Yes.
And you as well? I mean, this is extremely ironic that we're here together. So why don't both of you give us the elevator's pitch, right? The 2 minutes.
No, please.
He's thinking. He's going to stop because he's thinking.
I like this. I can
Upbringing.
You can inspire me. I can
How
look at
did you
your
end up
answer and I can try to do something.
My story is not going to be as exciting as Rexhep's. It's I was a theoretical physicist by training, corporate finance, consulting, all that kind of stuff by necessity, photography by passion, and then watchmaking by stubbornness and stupidity. That's the elevator pitch. And I'm still here because of luck and support of our collectors and the industry. And I think there's also a good element of I would say there's a good element of ego involved in this, right? We make stuff that we like because we have to be able to defend our products. It's very difficult to make something for a market that you imagine. You make something for yourself because this is what you want to wear as a collector and an enthusiast. And I was a collector first I was an enthusiast first. I was a collector later when I could afford to buy stuff. I'm still a collector. I'm still an enthusiast. And I think that's maybe the most important part of all.
Right.
Rexhep.
Thank you.
No, so for me, it was really, my father lived in Switzerland since 77. And, a lot of families, we send somebody of the family to make some money and to take care of the family. So it's quite usual, But yeah, when he came, you want to see him, so you don't see him that much. You look at him, what he have in the pocket. And I always remember this watch, he had. And, this just stick in your head somewhere,
Yeah.
And when I come in Switzerland, you're seeing that it's a country of watches, they're doing watches. It's a kind of tradition. And after that, I started just, the integration. You don't have that much friends, so you have some free time for the first years. And you start to read a little, you start to see. And when you realize that you can learn how to do watches, you're even more attracted. And honestly, I would say since 13 years, I was sure about it. And I just met a friend the other day, and he said something that really made me thinking. He wanted to change he was really passionate, and he wanted to change everything now because he don't like anymore what he have. Like you.
Well, yeah, it's a familiar feeling because one day you wake up and you go, why am I doing something that I don't enjoy?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But for me, it was really, this is why I say, I'm a really lucky guy because, I stick to this thing and every day I became just even more passionate. And this is something that really, I'm a lucky guy. I'm really lucky.
But I want to say it shows because your pieces are amazing.
Thank you.
But you're also extremely.
You know what's going to happen now? The only way I can afford something that you're making now is like if we make one, right? That's the only way. I throw it out there.
You heard it first from the Lume Florals. Exactly. It happened here on our podcast.
But you're also extremely hardworking. And Ming told us a story. Would you like to tell him?
You remember in 2019?
Yes.
You got the big finger. I got one of the tiny little fingers, and then we were looking for dinner up. Turns out your street. 4 Asian guys peering into this workshop. This has a light on Saturday night or Sunday night, and you were at your bench, and this is that was cool, man. That was cool. That was one of the warmest moments of this whole experience for me.
Thank you very much.
In fact, a lot of people have said that whenever they walk down that street and they just enter his
he's always there.
office, he's always there, and people say, "Can you just fix my watch?" He's there to fix their watch.
No, actually, it's true. And sometimes you feel so bad, so you want really to help them and to fail to watch.
Did you ever say sorry? We have no batteries.
I promise you, few people, and you know what? It's funny what I'm saying this because we ask to one of our colleagues, say, you know what? We should buy some just for helping some people.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
No, but look at
that. That is altruism.
No, but
altruism.
Honestly, you have the other day a guy he was 93 years.
Oh,
okay.
How you can do? You have your neighbors asking this kind of stuff, so you have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
That's being kind. You've been very kind.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. That's a fantastic story. For Rexhep, what is next for you? You have, I think, mastered most of the complications already. I mean, yes, there's obviously more to come, but are you thinking about Gröbel for, say, doing an innovation that is something new next, maybe in a few years, in a decade?
I think if you don't have this kind of belief or intention, for example, for sure, I think it can be very, very boring. Honestly, for me, again, I'm really happy with everything, and I'm happy that how people look at it. But personally, I have to say that I don't have the same vision than outside, right?
Sure.
For me, I see just we are better than 2012 when I start.
Mhm.
We know a little more thing to do, you know, and we have to learn so many other things. That's it, honestly. And yes, I have to say that today I can, because like a man, you know, at 25, you don't know really who you are, you know, slowly you understand more and more and more. And slowly you understand really what bring you there and what give you this motivation.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, it's very simple. Few years ago, I was reading about some watchmakers. They did something incredible. And I realized that these guys, they did something so important that we still keep talking.
Mhm.
And this guy inspired me. So in another way, like also you inspire me, by the way. No, but
Likewise, thank you.
but
seriously.
honestly, because you know, we can talk about aesthetics and things like that, but
Yeah.
this is the first thing that we want. And for example, when you look at this, it's rare, right?
Mhm.
It's really rare.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not everybody get it.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
for me, it's important, and I hope, and this is my challenge, my motivation. I don't know if I will achieve it, but my motivation is eventually to do something that maybe will inspire some people.
Mhm.
And this for me the best thing that you can live, really. And we have to, because we have babies, we educate them.
Yep.
Yes.
We think about future. We're trying to give them something that, you know, so it's all natural and organic.
Right.
So this is my motivation.
Oh, that's a lovely motivation. Something that endures, something that transcends generations, maybe, that is inspiring, that's bringing people pleasure.
That's fantastic.
Right?
No,
It's
the bringing
something-
people pleasure thing is actually really important, because I think we operate in an industry that is not critical for survival. It's not like we're doing, you know, food or water or shelter or something like that. But the bit I think it is important is that we bring people a little bit of joy.
Yeah.
That's important, because the joy keeps you going on. It keeps you waking up, makes you look forward to the next day. To me, if I can make somebody happy with what I make, that's good enough, right?
You made a lot of people happy. Well, your website kept crashing.
To be fair, that was not our website.
Okay.
And we actually invested a huge amount of money in completely redoing our own e-commerce system to
Right.
avoid that.
Yeah.
No, I think you touch a very valid point. Yes, nobody in the watch industry is curing cancer
Yep.
or helping people, you know, with their daily lives. But you do bring pleasure to people's lives.
This can help for the cancer, by the way, bringing pleasure.
It can,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes, it can.
Happier
It
people will definitely
Yes.
be less sick.
Yeah.
It is true.
And
Very
you want to
true.
live longer to wear your watches for longer. I mean,
Correct.
Absolutely, you have to
It's-
make
yeah.
it worth it. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
of course.
Sorry.
No, and
No, it's absolutely true.
You know,
or you can, yeah.
wake up in the morning, say this will be a beautiful day. I'm sure it always will be better than if you wake up in the morning and say,
Say,
"This
what
will be
the hell?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another 9 to 5 day.
No,
I
we were
agree.
just saying this. I was saying to Ralph earlier, you know, sometimes you just wake up and you're like, what the hell is this hobby? Like, we have trinkets on our wrist. Why? You know, and it just sometimes you.
We're
you-
magpies. We like shiny things.
Exactly, exactly.
You know,
You know,
that was
you-
my inspiration for this guy. It's like the shiniest thing we've ever made.
Yes.
Actually, I never seen this. Beautiful.
So what do you have on your wrist since,
exactly.
since Rexhep brought it up? Both of you.
Actually, I don't have my watch today.
Really?
so-
Really? Okay, let's swap. I mean, I think I get the better deal if we do that. So I'm wearing the rose gold 3704 monopusher we just launched. It's an updated version of the anniversary piece we did last year. Anniversary being 5th anniversary, we thought we'd do something special. So we put out the word that we're looking for some interesting movements, and this has the THA monopusher from Joan Flageolet Halter that did it for Cartier in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
We
Wow.
yeah, we found a bunch of these in a drawer at La Jouperi, which are just ébauches, and then we refinished everything, remade some plates and bridges, worked with Mr. Voutilainen on a dial, and
How much is it going for?
this is 48,000 francs. It's
Okay.
all rose gold, including the dial.
Right. And is it limited or?
Well, we only got 20 movements, so yeah,
okay.
it kind of is.
Yeah, what to do. And you can't get any more of them, right?
No. And now Rexhep is going, no,
Mr.
no.
I do not like.
I do not like.
No, actually, really,
Kidding.
I think really it's important today that somebody bring an aesthetic, a different aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know, I really suffer a lot when in 2012 I come with this case. Not everybody appreciate it, and I honestly I think it's one of the most important things. You know, this is the first thing you're seeing, so the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Exactly.
From a distance
Exactly.
as well.
So
Yeah.
honestly, I appreciate and no, really congratulations because
Thank you.
I really like
Thank you.
what you do.
Thank you very much. I mean, that means a lot coming from you.
No,
Seriously.
honestly, it's like
Yeah.
And what about you? So you said it's not one of yours.
yes, I don't know if I can spoke about it.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, really?
Honestly,
Is it not
I
yet?
don't know. I
Really?
can spoke
Oh, okay.
honestly because I don't know because
Okay. And then we
will
want to
pass.
I can.
We will
I
switch
don't
off
know
the
if
microphone.
you are
I don't know
wearing-
if they lunch or not. If they lunch, I can spoke.
Okay. And then
Okay,
that
Can,
will
We'll
can we
talk
see it,
about
but
it
we
off the
don't
record.
say anything?
We'll have a look.
Oh,
We'll have a look
Oh,
later
okay.
and speak about it in a
okay.
bit.
Oh, okay. All right. I
Okay.
see.
You have involvement with
Okay,
this?
I understand.
No.
Oh, you're
not
just
really.
borrowing it.
No, really.
You ran from the booth very quickly.
Well, we could say what brand it is. We could say who made it, and then what brand it is.
because
That
there
we
you
can
go.
say.
It's a vintage. Honestly, I
The
have like
vintage with the Y, right?
Yeah,
The
this is
first,
really
which is
enamel, blue enamel dot. It's
very nice.
beautiful, honestly.
Yeah.
And Vintage is a brand that is owned by the Siddiqui family.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
yes, who have put on this beautiful
Dubai
Dubai
Watch
Watch
Week.
Week.
How important is the Middle Eastern market for both of you?
For me, it's really very impressive. First, I can't imagine again. And again, when people say, "Oh, you have lots of people that appreciate your watch here," I tell you that this few days you can really realize. And to say frankly, it's heartbreaking at the same time because you can see that many people maybe you will not be able to doing some watches. This is really hard, you know.
Yeah.
And it's huge for us. It's really huge, and independently of this, we feel like home.
Yeah.
You know, they're
Lovely.
very calming. You know,
Yeah.
and honestly, I'm very very happy to be there, and yeah, it's incredible how they evolve every 2 years.
Were you here for the last one?
I was here the first time in 2016.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. 2016, which was different. I stayed a lot back on my desk. I didn't have that much people coming to but yeah, 2 years ago was something crazy, and this year it's even more. It's even more.
It's crazy, yeah.
And you have discussion,
Yep.
open,
Yep.
right? I think you.
This random thing that just happened today.
This is-
It's fantastic.
This is the best example, I think. Honestly,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And this could have been a panel discussion that we could have had in the main hallway.
It could,
And
but I
it's-
guess,
this is- but it's
Yeah.
somebody
it's-
will listen to it.
I'm sure somebody will listen to it.
Exactly.
I mean, for us, this is the first major show we've ever done. In fact, it's the first show we've ever done. You know, by the time we got big enough to go to shows, COVID happened. We couldn't travel. My country prevented us from leaving the country for 2.5 years. And then by the time all that opened up, you know, this was the first big show we could do. And it's the first big show we've ever done. In fact, it's the first show we've ever done, period. So I have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
And it's both interesting how many people from outside who have very little interest in watches just like get inspired and get interested in what's going on.
Yeah.
At the same time, how many familiar faces? It's like a community. It's like, oh, I saw you last week, and you know, it's fantastic. And then you see old friends, and there's this very nice sense of community. It's not too big, like the old Basel was, and you're like, where am I?
Yeah.
I need a GPS. You know, it's really nice. It's really warm.
For us as enthusiasts, it's also amazing. It's like kids in a candy store.
Yes.
We see, of course, many watches we can't afford, but we aspire to. We love to see for the first time in the flesh. We can try them out. We can look at them, and we can just be excited about it. It brings pleasure, even if you don't own it,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Even though it's really,
Absolutely.
really nice. Talking to people like you, getting to know more about how the challenges, how to produce things, and how much effort it takes, and how many challenges, risks you take, right, financially, and also from a just personal perspective. And so we have just a field day. We just can go up to people and just shake your hands and say, hey, let's talk a bit about these watches. It's fantastic. So thank you again for the Siddiqui family to enable us, to also give us the platform to have interviews and all of
that's
these things.
true.
It's fantastic for us.
I think as newer producers, we also need that just to have the exposure to get visibility as well.
Well, ultimately, you're on the same pedestal as all of the other people next to you, and this is what's important. It's not like I remember I saw you in 2019 at Basel. and you were back in the what was it called? The little area,
the hole, the tent,
the
the
back,
tent, right?
yes.
They had the tent at one
And
point.
it was just Rolex, and everything was huge in front. And then if you wanted to see the Independence, you go down.
But that was nice though. That little tent out the back was nice.
Yeah, it was. It was. But it was, as you said, you needed a GPS to get from one end to the other. Not to mention, there's 3 other floors that I didn't even go to because I didn't have the time. But ultimately, it puts everyone together, everyone on the same platform. And
Even financially, it works. I mean, I walked 4 years ago. I walked in here, and Edward Milan was there from Moser, and I looked at his watches. Said, "I really like your watches, but they're too expensive. I mean, 10,000 Swiss francs. They started at 10,000 at a time. Now 12,000, I think, entry level." And I said, "Well, I personally think it's silly to spend so much money on a watch. Now I'm wearing one." Right, so
Oh, you get this. You get this.
I'm wondering what the bits were missing.
I'm sorry, it's finished for you. Next time you will show another one more expensive. You will see.
Wait, he just promised something.
Yes, exactly. No, but it's true. You know, when we are passionate and we start this, it's terrible. It's really terrible because it's terrible. It's good. Sorry. But
if you can
this
control a bit,
this is really what passion is, I think.
And I think what one of the things that I think both of you also have, I don't know, you probably know it already, but it's how it makes you feel to wear a specific watch.
Yes.
Because that's also what sometimes people don't understand. We're saying, like, well, put it on your wrist.
Yeah.
Very often I had watches that I thought, I put it on my wrist and thought, suddenly it works.
Yes.
And you feel like, I feel good wearing this watch.
As a photographer, I hate that because when I design stuff, it's designed for 2 eyes because you've got layering and reflection, and one eye sees one thing, the other side eye sees the other thing.
Yeah.
You need stereoscopic vision to appreciate it. Camera's got 1 eye.
Yeah.
And then I always get these messages, comments, emails, whatever, going, the photos are nice, but the watches are so much nicer in person. Actually, the photos are not that great. Like,
yeah.
As a photographer,
Is exactly.
I can't do anything because the camera's got 1 eye.
So one more question. Between the two of you, how many GPHG awards do we have? No. One?
Person I have I have just 2. No.
Just 2.
Just two.
No. What I'm saying, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
I'm very,
And it's what's ironic here is that you have now kind of phased out Acrivia, right? You said the Louis Vuitton collaboration will be the last Acrivia. Is that correct?
Yes.
And now you are switching to Rexhepi.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah. I think just it was a little more. Sorry.
No. Of course. Go ahead.
No, it was just a little more simple because long time ago I started with Acrivia because very strange again. So I'm from Kosovo, but my father is also from Kosovo, but he lives in Switzerland. And when I come in Switzerland, he was so thankful about Swiss people that he always tell me we have to be under Swiss people, not in terms of feeling, but just we have to respect that much.
Grateful,
yes.
So I never could, because of this, I think this traumatic. I never really could put my name, like an Albanian name, on the Swiss watches. So I really never.
But what is Acrivia? I mean, I'm curious. Where did Acrivia come from?
Yes.
Acrivia, it's from Greece. So,
okay.
So it's precision. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
But what I'm saying before was kind of, you don't put your name, Albanian name. So it was a little strange. And I couldn't put this until I launched my first watch. After a few, everybody keep talking, why you don't sign your watch? And I was
right.
look at them and said,
And this is coming to you, by the way.
They're right.
Here.
I mean, look, you make everything in there. You have every right to put your name on it. You earned that the hard way.
But
right?
again, for me, I couldn't do it because I was young. I was who you are to do this. It was kind of feeling like you have to prove people.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah, but the confidence was not yet there.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. And
You
really,
earned it,
after many people telling me this, and I think we know we have a friend in common. Really, Mike Tay was also the guy say, Rexhep, come on, you have to believe in you.
Yeah.
You have to believe in you and just try it and you will see. And honestly,
Best thing you ever did, right?
I tried and finally it makes just more sense.
Yes.
This is why I skip now to the Rexhepi.
Yes, and I think it's a fantastic idea.
So Activa, it's still my company, it's the house, and I have different workshops,
Sure.
and then it's okay. But I would just sign in the future Rexhepi.
That makes
I
sense.
mean, same to you. I mean, this is
I didn't
you
want
started.
to. I didn't want to put my name on it. We tried a whole bunch of other stuff. We talked about having other names that made some sense. We talked about reviving old brand names. We looked for things that had website domains and trademarks available. And in the end, my investor said, "Take responsibility for your children." I was like,
Oh, wow.
"Oh,
Wow.
ow,
Okay.
that's heavy." Okay.
So initially, when I saw your name, I thought it was like the Iron Man's nemesis, Ming.
Or the dynasty or something else. No, but that's yeah. No. So we actually had a we had an IP like trademark battle with another artist.
Oh, okay.
It turns out to be a jeweler. So we tried to get the trademark for that, and it was contested. But it was okay. You do jewelry. You're not going to touch watches. That's fine. Watches and jewelry are one category.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, I do jewelry. You do watches. We don't overlap.
Mm.
But other than that, it's surprising nobody in the East has actually used the name yet.
All right.
So
Very surprising.
Which is very surprising.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
you, when you started your watch, the watch, starting in the watch business,
Mhm.
was it because you were not getting something of your type? I mean, the watch that you liked, or is it was
Ooh,
that
that's-
one of the reasons why
That's
you
a
were?
mix of all sorts of things. I think my co-founders and I started collecting in the early 2000s. And that was when there were like two forums, and the big debate was like, do I buy a Submariner or a Speedmaster? And it's like $1,000. We don't have that now, but we miss that joy of sort of discovering something interesting at a not unreasonable price point. We thought very arrogantly we could make it work. And then we learned very quickly that the business is a lot more complex and a lot more difficult than that.
Mm.
Yeah.
So we stuck with it. That's the stubbornness. And then it snowballed. And at every time it's always been, we want to make the watches we like. I think we need to be able to defend the pieces, the choices we make, because if you're trying to make a watch for this, consultant-driven target market thing, it's very difficult to understand what that market is unless you yourselves are people who like those pieces, right? Because you won't know what is expected from that. And I think it's important that we make things that, at the end of the day, it's very selfish.
Yeah.
But I like it, and I can tell you why every single piece on that watch is the way it is, because I designed the case,
Right.
because I designed the dial, because I specified how we wanted the CNC done on the guilloche, for instance. I specified the color tone for the off-white of the Superluminova. All of those things are deliberate choices, right? And if you say you don't like it, that's fine. I can accept that. That's very subjective, and it's very personal.
Right.
But at least at the end of the day, I like it, and I think we did the best we possibly could for that product.
And well, because of that,
For that moment.
Yeah.
For that moment. Exactly.
Yeah.
Until, like you say, we realized that we could have done better, and we just keep pushing. That's what it is.
That's evolution.
It's evolution.
yeah, and
Yeah, it's very easy to criticize it, but
Thank you. Thank you. There's a lot of that.
no, the thing is,
Obviously, we who don't create, who don't produce things, we can always easily say, yeah, but why would you?
Exactly.
Why does it have a date? Why does it have the date?
Well, you
why
do
does it
better.
here? Why
Which
does it
is why we, as the people who make it, correct me if I'm wrong, Rexhep, we need to be able to say it's because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did not want to do this, right? We didn't want to create another one of that. And so, so how was the collaboration you did with Louis Vuitton? Because Louis Vuitton, I think I just had the discussion with two ladies who I met here first time, two lawyers who work in the IFC, who had no big ideas about watches. It started like this. I think my watch is automatic because sometimes I have to do this.
Wow.
2 days later, I met the same two ladies, and there's Ralph. We were just discussing if Chanel is a proper watchmaker because they didn't start with watchmaking, but we know that they buy their movements from Kenissi. What do you think? 2 days, and these ladies are experts. And I thought, whoa, what happened? So Louis Vuitton is a fashion brand who made more fashion-oriented watches first. And I know my wife has one, an old tambour quartz. Starting to become very serious with Le Fabrique du Temps and trying to make solid watches. How was the collaboration between the two of you?
First of all, I think it started really because between two men, to say frank. Like, I was, we met with Jean, we discussed a little. And if I think it was not Jean, I will not do it anymore.
Okay.
No, really, like, because, I just had a good discussion with him. I see that he's passionate, and that's it. It was a good experience. I like surprising people, to say frankly, and I think nobody really expect to do something with Louis Vuitton.
No,
It's good. You have biggest luxury brand.
Yep.
Doing something with a young small watchmaker. I found interesting, really, and the challenge was nice. And why also because I knew these two guys, Enrico and Michel, work for La Fabrique du Temps.
Yes.
So they've been in BNB Concepts with Mathias Butte before. So they built the first chronograph that we had, chronograph tourbillon. Okay. Where I work in BNB Concept, when I work in BNB Concept. So for me, it was just kind of, okay, why not? These guys, I use it, the first movement with the first base I use. So I wanted just to say, hey guys, thank you.
Right.
Yep.
In a way, now I'm back. I'm doing a chronograph tourbillon, but I try to show you like a little, and then make you just feeling me,
Nice.
make me proud, in a way.
Yeah.
And really, I didn't think that much, to say frankly. Just nice, surprising, exciting.
It's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
Beautiful watch.
It's nice complication. We will start delivering by next year. By January, February next year. So I'm really quite happy to deliver the first one. And it's nice complication. It was never done.
Absolutely. I think Jean has I think a good idea of how he wants to bring Louis Vuitton forward. He's in there for the long game. I think he knows it will take a long time for people to respect Louis Vuitton as a watchmaker.
Yep.
That doesn't happen overnight. It might take a long time.
No, but this is a really good challenge.
It's a great way to start.
It's a really good challenge.
Similar to what Max had done with
I was just about to say.
Van Cleef.
Well, with the
Harry Winston.
Sorry,
Harry
Harry
Winston,
Winston.
yeah, Harry Winston.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
And this is once again how you can get it done. Max Reusser got his name from this, right? Essentially, his he got his name from before that, but his whole idea of MBNF started from these collaborations.
Getting people together and collaborate. Yeah.
But also, this watch price, honestly, for me, it's nice. And, in 2012, again, was a little more difficult than today.
It was. Yes, it was.
Honestly. And at this moment, I remember if I knew that I had the possibility to participate to kind of watch price, and eventually I have a chance to be judged by some knowledgeable people, some people that maybe they can make me win. I don't know. This can help you. Honestly, you can have some kind of recognition, and I support this also. Honestly, I think it's nice way, and I hope in the future we'll have even more people that.
Yeah, I think Ming, you had the collaboration with Messina Labs.
Yep, we did.
I mean, I'm not saying anything about it. But
No, it's fine. Look, there were issues, they were resolved, and I think the reality is everybody wants to expect everything to be perfect. It never is.
Yeah, true.
The question is, how do we handle it afterwards?
Right. Correct,
and I think
correct.
to me that's very important, both as integrity of the brand, integrity of the people working there, and for the collectors, you need to restore their confidence. And as a collector, we also ask ourselves, look, if we're in this situation on the opposite side, what do we want done?
Yeah.
So resolve the problem, extend the warranty, find the fix as fast as possible, we get everything back, we take responsibility. I think that's important. Yeah.
But at the same time, you have one of your biggest endorsees is Kevin O'Leary.
There's
right?
another story behind that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At the time he bought that particular Piece Unique World Timer off me, that was one of the prototypes that I made and decided to keep.
Right.
It was actually probably the first proper production piece that I was going to keep for myself. But we were a really small brand then, and I had to make payroll the next month. So
Right.
out it went.
Well, but he's
Okay.
publicized Ming everywhere he goes. He always mentions your name everywhere. And
Well,
that I think
yeah.
one of the reasons how I found out about Ming is actually through him, through his
Really?
videos.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Interesting.
Because social media has also played a very important role, right?
Yep.
For all the watchmakers. That's where the boom has happened. So
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, Rexhep, have you actually, because we saw Philippe Dufour and his entire family is here, I think last time as well. Did you have a word with Daniela? Do you know her?
Yeah, to say frankly, we couldn't had the time to speak this time, but
Yeah.
every time we can, honestly, I'm happy to speak with every watchmaker, with every. I'm really open person, and I have to say that I love to learn.
Okay.
No, really, like so.
I have one more question. I think we are
Okay,
already
we're over time.
way over time, but one more question about guilloche work, because I saw Kari Voutilainen here, and he has collaborated with so many different brands, and it's every time
Including
I
this
think,
one.
Yeah, including this one.
this
The
one.
funny thing is, every time I see Kari, he doesn't recognize me. It's like, dude, I buy dials for you. I shot your watches back in 2012 as your photographer, and now I buy dials for. That's sort of so funny.
So are you thinking of doing guilloche work, extending your guilloche work at your own workshops? Is that something you think of?
I have a 3 guilloche machine, but I will not.
No.
To say frankly, I love. I think it's really nice. I explore, but I think so much people doing better than me.
Fair enough.
So
fair enough,
we've spoken about identity and things like that.
yeah.
I think it's really important to keep this kind of.
Yeah.
And I think Kari is the king for this.
He is. He is. But he told us that this could not be done with a rose engine because it's too deep and the pattern is different.
Okay.
So we had to CNC it
Okay.
Right.
because the curvature of the line is not circular, and the pattern is way too deep.
But then speaks to you that you said no, but this is what we want, so we.
It is. So I sent him a 3D
technology
file
can.
and I said, look, this is what we want,
Right.
and he said we have to CNC it. But I guess technology is also what we do, right?
Sure. And we can always say, if Breguet would be alive today, would he use the latest technologies?
He would use a CNC machine.
Yeah, of course.
So
But I think it's just you don't have the best way, or you have just only way to do it. That
you're right. Sometimes there's only one way, and it's like you have to make it work.
But in a way, like for example, everybody, I tell this to everybody. For me, it's a philosophy, and when you come at workshop, I was saying at home. When you come at workshop, then is for me, it's just my philosophy. It's my way of doing watches, but doesn't mean that another way it's better or less better, or really. And I think this is what we need. We have to be open and not just to judging, this and this. Yeah, we complain sometimes about big brands, but come on, without big brands, we are not existing. Swiss watchmaking is dead,
Yes.
So maybe this show will be not there. So
Right.
Absolutely.
It's not just big brands. I think we can't be too snobbish about watches and say only the super expensive stuff is interesting.
Totally
A watch is a watch. If you're democratic about it, everything has some merit for whatever reason that may be.
with you.
I look at a Seiko 5, for instance, and I go, for the amount of money you paid, that is an incredible piece of engineering.
Absolutely.
Even the Apple Watch is an incredible piece of engineering.
Casio F91W.
All that.
It's £9, $9.
Yeah.
And
Or
what you're getting.
Tissot PRX, right?
Correct. So there's so many things, and those things get new people interested in watches. Maybe today they can't afford one of our watches or one of your watches, and eventually they might be able to.
Right.
And the feeder is important, I think.
Totally agree with you.
I have a question which I think I touched upon. That's how we started talking.
Yeah.
Around 2 years ago, I had purchased a Ming watch, and maybe I think 3 or 4 months later, I get an email from Ming stating that there was an issue that happened where clients got angry with one of the staff. And he sent an email which was very emotional. He was very emotional, and he mentioned it, saying that please try to be kind to my staff.
Honestly, it's not even that sometimes. It's like sometimes my credit card got declined and we look at the back end and go, you have insufficient balance, or customs held your watch because customs is customs. And there are things outside our control. And people get annoyed with that and were annoyed with us. And we'll try to help you as best we can.
Yeah.
But there are some things that, if I could control customs or the entire credit rating system, I probably would not be making watches.
No.
But
there's other ways.
it still happens. I don't know. Unfortunately, it still happens.
You have some watches that you have launched in Dubai Watch Week.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a few, yes.
Can Can you just give names so that our listeners can know?
All right, very quickly. So we launched the rose gold monopusher a little while ago with the La Joux-Perret Jaune Flageolet Halter movement, rose gold case, rose gold gouache dial. We have the Dubai World Timer, which with the Schwarzer 10 movement, that is something we did for the fair because we figured this is the big, this is the first time we've been at a big show, and the Middle East has become an increasingly important market for us. So we want to acknowledge that and want to give you guys something special. We also said we need to continue our entry level pieces. So we have the 3708 Sand that's got a very deep relief dial. The dial is 1.7 millimeters thick, so you've got these fantastic deep CNC waves into the dial. That's an entry level piece. And of course, we have from a few weeks back in New York, what is, we think, probably the world's lightest mechanical watch.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that one.
Yes.
That
well
one.
done to that.
Thank you.
Magnesium. Yeah.
All right.
Fantastic. Cool.
All
Thank
right.
you. Any last words, Rexhep?
Thank you very much. It was really nice.
Oh,
it was
thanks.
really nice.
Surprising, right?
Yeah, honestly, it's
Sorry,
really
I
nice.
get crashed.
This is what makes it better.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it
it's
would just
perfect.
be a normal interview,
Yeah,
right?
This is cool.
honestly, it's perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for
Thank
both
you
of
very
you for
much.
taking the
Thanks for
time.
having us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Wow. That was quite an interview, wasn't it?
It was. And we have to mention that I think, that, by the way, I've done a little Googling yesterday, and there's no other interview. There is no literally any article, anything that has paired these two people together.
Yeah, well.
We are officially the first ones to not only sit them down in the same room, formally, so to speak, but to even write or speak of them in the same sentence, which
Yeah,
I
and
think is crazy.
It seemed like they really got on like a house on fire, right? I mean, it's
They did.
Yeah, and they
And once again, they mentioned collaboration coming,
yeah,
which
yeah,
would be
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so we saw them walking out of the interview room, and they were still busy chatting to each other.
Giggling,
and-
exactly.
They're really getting along well. So that's really good to see.
And then what happened? And then where did they go?
They actually went and played a bit of foosball against each other, right? Which is one of the Dubai Watch Week traditions that you put two different watchmakers or brands opposing each other, and you have to play foosball against.
But they
table
both posted this. So both Rexhep's Instagram, Dubai Watch Week's Instagram, and Ming's Instagram posted this, that they were playing together.
Yeah.
And to think that the only reason they played together was because of us, because we put them in the same room together, is awesome. I mean, I just think super cool. And by the way, I do want to say I'm gonna put up 2 pictures on Instagram about this. Of course, we'll have the family photo, so to speak. But then one picture was Rexhep just admiring the new Ming watch.
Right.
And he's like staring at it, like enamored by it, which is so cool to see how, these two guys came together and how they both have this mutual respect and admiration of each other.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I can't believe the stories that we learned in this interview. I mean, I can't wait to go to Geneva and hopefully see him when I walk past his. I have to find out where actually his workshop is, right? Rexhep's.
Yeah.
And if I see him
he's sitting there.
I will go with my Swatch and ask him for a battery change. Let's see.
Exactly. And you see, like how he said that the Asian guys looking through the window, like
Yes,
little
like,
schoolboys.
Yeah. Amazing stuff.
So funny.
Really cool
Yeah.
stories. All right.
All right.
Then,
well, once
stay
again,
stay
follow us
tuned.
on Instagram.
Stay
yes,
tuned.
follow us on Instagram. Stop interrupting. Follow us on Instagram. Check out the pictures I posted for Ming and Rexhep together.
All right.
Now you can say what you want.
Now
to say.
I'm allowed to speak. Okay.
Yes, I allow it.
I have here the mute button. I can actually mute you if I want to. Anyway,
Yeah, he does have the control panel.
so no, I just wanted to say, stay tuned. There's lots of amazing other interviews coming still. So yeah, more to come. Thank you.
Yes.
And bye-bye.
Bye-bye.